The third and final candidate on the ballot, the Democratic ballot for lieutenant governor, is Mike Collier. He ran against incumbent Dan Patrick 4 years ago. And of the 8 million votes cast in that race, Collier came within 400,000 votes of winning. He is now hoping for a rematch in November. Mr. Collier, welcome back to our program. I want to start with a question that I asked your primary opponents as well. The lieutenant governor, as you well know, presides over the Senate. You have never served in the Senate. You've never been elected to statewide office or any office for that matter. Why do you think you're qualified for this position?
Oh, I think Texans find that very attractive. I think the real skill that we need in the lieutenant governor, in my opinion, is the ability to set the right agenda for the state and then to start solving these problems, which are really quite complex. The property tax problem is complicated. Fixing the grid is complicated. Finding permanent funding, funding for education is complicated. The politics of getting people to agree to expand Medicaid is complicated. I think that's the skill that we need. The parliamentarian part, I'll have help. That's easy compared to fixing the damn grid.
And you have talked about fixing the grid and property taxes as two of your main things. But in a recent UT Texas Tribune poll, it showed under favorability that 63% of Texans don't know who you are, don't have an opinion on you. And a very similar amount also didn't have an opinion on who they'd vote for in this race. Well, why aren't you any more well known considering how hard you've been working from 2018 to today?
It's a big state. There's no other way to describe it. It's a big state. Imagine how those numbers would look if I hadn't been working, and to help Democrats win, to help myself. No, it's a very large state. I think that's very important in terms of electability, Jason. I have pieced together an infrastructure around the state, and I have folks that are helping me in just about every major city, every corner of the state. That's so important because it's been so long since a Democrat has won statewide. A candidate has to build his or her own, and it takes years. So we have work to do. There's no question. We're going to travel. We have traveled. We've been out 8,000 miles already. We're just getting warmed up. But I do have the infrastructure, and I have the know-how, and we'll have the resources, and we'll be able to make sure that people make a good decision, and that's what this is all about.
I want to ask you briefly about property taxes as well, too. How in the world do you lower property taxes when the property values are just skyrocketing all over Texas?
The key is to make the system fair again. The owners of large commercial and industrial properties are not paying on inflated appraisals. In fact, they're paying on under appraised values, which we all know. And so the problem is, to solve the property tax problem, we must deal with it honestly. We have to deal with the state not collecting taxes from the owners of large commercial industrial properties. Otherwise, they are just mocking us, Jason.
Fundraising numbers are expected out soon. What should we expect from your campaign for the fourth quarter of 2021?
Well, I'm not allowed to tell you what the number is until the final accounting is done, Jason, and that'll be released. I'll just say that we're very, very pleased with fundraising. You'll see that it's many times where we were at this point in the election cycle 4 years ago. I came very close to beating Dan Patrick on a shoestring budget. You'll see in a matter of days, this is not a shoestring budget. Fundraising is going very, very well. More than 10,000 individual Texans are contributing. And importantly, Jason, I have a strong enough and deep enough network of donors that I'm not going to take any money from the corporate PACs.
Well, you got within 400,000 votes in 2018. With more money now, how will your campaign be different?
I think it'll be a much more sophisticated operation, Jason. So we have a much better idea of where the voters are, how they're responding to me. It's a big state. It's a complicated state. What people are looking for in their leadership in the Panhandle, for example, is very different than what they're looking for in terms of leadership in the Rio Grande Valley. So it takes a large staff. It takes a lot of helpers, and then it takes money so that you can communicate effectively using the various modalities that are available to you, whether it's digital. Last time our campaign was almost exclusively digital because it's efficient. This time we'll have the resources to layer in other communication techniques tailored specifically to the folks that we're going out and seeing. It'll be a very different operation.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for the time and good luck to you.
Thank you very much, Jason.